I am Ray, and this is why being a realist is ruining your life. Be delusional. Because what do we even know about what is real? Reality is assumed. That is why Socrates was wise when he said, "All I know is that I know nothing." You see, there's a reason that the movie The Matrix exists, because it is a reflection of reality. That most people in the world are living in a dream. They assume reality is one way, but reality is not that way. Reality is so much different than you could have ever imagined. But instead, in real life, reality is much more beautiful on the other side. And so what happens, people who claim to be realists, they live from their senses, meaning they think reality is what they perceive reality to be from their experiences. This is how I experience reality, so this must be how reality is. No, reality is the way it is because it is a reflection of you. It is a reflection of your assumptions. It is a reflection of your beliefs. So whatever you believe to be true will be true for you. What does this mean? It means that if you think life is difficult, it will be difficult for you. Certainly. And if you think life is easy, it will be easy for you. But what do people do? They say life is cold, brutal, and short, like a Russian dwarf. And they just assume it to be true. For what reason? Because that is what their senses are telling them. This is the way life is. And because other people are also living that way, other people are also dreaming, they say, okay, well, it must be true. Because there's more than one person also confirming my belief. But no, it's just two people in the same boat experiencing the same reality. Let me tell you, my friend, the moment you believe that making money is easy, it is. The moment you believe that making friends is easy, it is. The moment you believe that anything is easy, it is. But we have so much conditioning, so much karma, so much negative memory in us that makes it difficult to believe these things. Because, well, it's like a wound. We were wounded at some point. And so as a defense mechanism, we keep ourselves stuck in these negative states of being, these negative concepts, these negative frameworks of living our life. Let me provide a rough example. Little Buddy is working hard today. That's going to be his name, Little Buddy. There's two people. This one is a hard-working man, working with his hands, honest living. Whether it's construction or working on cars, whatever it is. You know what this is like. And this man can spend 40 years working, doing his job. And at the end of it, he might have a nice family. He might have a nice house and a nice truck. Not bad. But, 40 years of difficult work. And then you can get some random spoiled brat right out of high school. Learn the art of manifestation for like a year. Practice it. Really good. Really focused. And within like 3 years, that person can make more than this person will ever make in their entire life. With, you could say, no effort at all. And you might say, well, that's not fair. Why does this person have to struggle so much? And why does this person just have it so easy? It's because the price of ignorance is slavery and death. Those who do not know their power have no power. This person realizes their power, this one does not. What power is that? That you were made in the image of God and that you are a divine creator. Which means that you are already creating your reality in a million different ways. We are just ignorant of that. Because energy, we all have energy. It is the force of creation. It is our creative power. Which is why, for instance, those who have more energy are often more successful. But what is more important is where you direct that energy. And our mind is a tool that serves that function, to direct the flow of energy. As they say, where attention goes, energy flows. And if you've ever asked yourself, well, why does somebody become a billionaire? Or why does someone turn to a life of crime? Or why does someone like Jesus become who they are? It is for no other reason than people focus on different things. The entire quality of the life that we create for ourselves is determined by the quality of the things we focus our attention on. And the problem is, when you live from your senses, you are a slave to the animal kingdom. You are a slave to three-dimensional reality, the physical world, because you only think that the things you see are real. And therefore, you only focus your attention on the reality before you. And that is why they say the poor get poorer and the rich get richer. Or in the Bible, for those who have, more will be given. And those who have not, even what little they have will be taken from them. Because when you only focus on what you have, you will only get more of just the same. Which is why if you want to become free, you cannot live from your senses alone. And people will claim to be realists, but in fact are enslaving themselves unconsciously to a reality that they think is true, but is not. You see, it is so far out of most people's imagination that you have the power of God at the touch of your fingertips, and that in the next 100 years, or even the next 1,000 years, human beings, as we become more and more aware of our divine power, we will gain more and more mastery over the nature of reality. It was funny, when I first started using ChatGPT, around when it first came out, using it kind of got habituated in my mind, and I woke up one morning, and my window was open, and for a split second, before my mind kicked on, I used my mind like I would telling ChatGPT. I used my mind and said, close the window, as if the AI would close the window for me. Now at first it seemed silly, but then I thought, wait a minute. Deep within my DNA, locked within my unconscious, I do have this power, like Matilda, in which we can kind of just do things like that. But if you're a realist, you would say, no, not possible, not possible. You don't know what's possible, okay? You don't even know. That is the problem with being a realist. Your success is determined by how accurate your understanding of reality is. And I have not really met too many people in real life who have a clear understanding of reality. Maybe on the internet, sure. But I don't really know many people who understand their power and who can use it wisely. So, instead of being a realist, it is better to be delusional. Not in an ego way, but in an understanding your power kind of way. Because in order to create the life that you desire, in order to manifest anything, you must become the version of you that already has it. Because the way we create our reality is simple. Who we are influences the way we act. And the way we act influences the way we have. I like this one better. But what do most people do? They get stuck on this side of the equation. And that is the slave side. That is what it means to live from your senses alone. You see something that you want, and so you act to go and get it. And that is just a never-ending cycle of struggling. But when you become the version of you that is aligned with the dream life that you want, it becomes automatic. It becomes effortless. Why is that? Well, think about it. If you haven't been working out for like 10 years, it's very difficult to behave in a way that gets you a healthy body. But if you've been going for a jog every day for 10 years, behaving in healthy ways is effortless. It's automatic because that's just who you are. And so what do most people do? They say, I want a healthy body, so I need to do this. I need to eat healthy. I need to go for a run. I need to go to the gym. No, don't worry about this. Don't worry about it. Because that makes you feel like you're a slave dragging yourself along. Oh, I have to do this. Oh, this sucks. But if you become somebody who enjoys exercise, if you change your relationship to exercise, to your body, you enjoy going to the gym. You enjoy going for a jog. You enjoy eating healthy. So it's effortless. But most people are forcing themselves to do things because they want something. All you have to do is become a greater version of you. Shift your energy, and all that you desire will come to you naturally. Now think about how a realist approaches life. They say, well, I'm broke. That is the real nature of my reality. I've got no money. So what do I need to do? I need to go work to get money. And so you're kind of forced to do things you don't like to do to survive. So these people are stuck in survival. And that is why you see most people live lives they hate, doing jobs they don't like, because they think they have to. The only problem is that if they don't have a fundamental identity shift, they will return to lack and scarcity. Why? Because the reason they have lack and scarcity in the first place is because they've been acting in a way that causes lack and scarcity. And they've been acting in that way because that is who they are. They have a lack and scarcity identity, a mentality, a lack mindset that causes their reality to be that way. But people don't realize that they are the cause of their reality. We just think that, oh, life is happening to me and I gotta react to it. It's the difference between being at the effect of your reality and being at the cause. Because this way, it may take years for you to change your identity. Because the only way you will become an abundant person is if you see abundance in your life. And it takes time to see abundance in your life. And then guess what? The moment that abundance leaves you, you're back into a lack and scarcity mindset. So you spend your whole life on this hamster wheel. Reality is rooted in fear of losing. And so you always gotta get more. Not good. When instead, if your reality is lack and scarcity, don't worry about what to do. Worry about how to be. Don't concern yourself with the world. Concern yourself with yourself. And you see, who we are, who we be, has two parts. An unconscious identity and our conscious identity. The conscious identity, you could say, is the ego or the person we believe ourselves to be. But the unconscious identity is who our body believes us to be. The unconscious mind is the intelligence of the body. And so what happens is that the conscious mind receives information. And based on how we react to that information, it will cause an emotional response. And the unconscious, the body, speaks the language of feelings. And so there are three ways we react. Or you could say there are three ways we can point our mind to direct the flow of energy. There's a negative way, a neutral way, and a positive way. If your current reality, a little reminder here, if you are currently experiencing a reality you do not desire, it is for no other reason than you have a negative relationship with something. So if you are broke, it means you have a negative relationship with money. If all of your relationships keep falling apart, it is because you have a negative relationship with people, which is causing you to act in certain ways that get you this result. And all that has happened is that throughout your life, you have had more negative experiences with a certain thing than positive ones. Think about the jock in high school. Does he have social anxiety? Everybody loves him, effortlessly. He doesn't have to try. But what about being a loser in high school, where nobody likes you, where you're always alone? Why does this happen? It is for no other reason than in this social example, a person has more negative experiences with people than positive ones. Whereas the jock just happened to get a good hand, where he was just naturally liked. And so every time we have a strong feeling about something, our unconscious takes a snapshot and pairs whatever information caused that feeling with the type of feeling it was, whether negative or positive. If the reaction is neutral, there's no imprint, there's no snapshot. And all of the snapshots in your life accumulate to create this unconscious identity. So all that has happened is that the loser has had many, many negative experiences with people. So their unconscious identity has a negative relationship with people that causes them to act in negative ways around people. Social awkwardness, shyness, the inability to speak up, the inability to have social awareness. And so what is the result? Social scarcity. Whereas the jock has a positive unconscious and conscious identity when it comes to being social. So they naturally act in healthy ways that cause people to like them. But what happens if you're a realist? You look, let's use the money example. You look at your life and you say, I'm broke. This sucks. And so what does that do? It causes you to react negatively to your reality, to your life. You're constantly telling yourself, I'm broke, I need to do something, I need to do something. And you're reinforcing these negative feelings, which reinforces a negative unconscious identity with money, which causes you to act in negative ways, which reinforces lack and scarcity. So it is better to be delusional because your body does not know the difference between what is real in the world and what is real in your own imagination. Why is that? Because information is received in the form of patterns. A thought can be a pattern. There can be a pattern in the world. It doesn't matter. It's all information. There literally is only one reality. And it doesn't matter if that information is real or not real, because your body experiences it all as real. Now, I consider myself a logical and rational person, even though now I've become more and more delusional. But we don't necessarily have to fake it until we make it, although it is good advice, because your thoughts will evoke emotions. And the more you begin feeling certain thoughts, the stronger emotions will emerge. And you can begin reprogramming your unconscious mind, which will automatically allow you to receive whatever it is you want. But until this unconscious identity is changed, it's going to be an uphill battle, no matter how hard you try. But the thing is, if you're anything like me, or like most people, life is abundant in all kinds of different ways. Even if you're living in Africa, in some kind of third world country. Well, Africa is a continent, but I digress. The point is that the universe is equally balanced between negativity and positivity. There is scarcity everywhere. There is abundance everywhere. It's not about what you think is true. It's about what you choose to focus on. That is why realism will make you a slave, ruin your life. Because you can say, well, there's evil in the world. All this negativity. Well, yes, there will always be negativity in the universe. There's nothing that anybody can do about it. You can choose to see the ugliness, or you can choose to see the beauty. Both exist equally all the time. And it will always and forever remain this way. Because the universe is always maintaining equilibrium. So no matter how bad it gets, it's going in the opposite direction. And no matter how good it gets, it's still going this way. Return to balance. And so what we can do is that step by step, we begin shifting our focus. First, we have to become aware of our power. I haven't really said anything all that crazy in this video. That our unconscious identity causes us to act in certain ways that causes certain results. Pretty logical, It causes our energy to flow in ways that create certain things. And if we have a negative relationship with something, whether consciously or unconsciously, it will cause us to have a negative result. So first, we have to realize that, well, we only have power over two things in this life. We have power over our conscious thoughts, and we have power over our conscious actions. That's it. And that's a good thing. Because no matter what you're experiencing in life, you only have two options. Ever, forever. You either change the way you think about something, or you change your actions. That's it. The choice is made for you. But life will not change until you start consciously living. You must live an intentional life. You must be clear on what you want, and then you must become the version of you that already has it. Because when you become that version of you, you will naturally and effortlessly, unacceptable. You will automatically and effortlessly act in the ways that cause you to receive what you want. Now here is how you can do this with money. If you look out into your reality and you are broke, you have to kind of suspend disbelief. I think that's the right way of saying it. Meaning you can't keep ruminating on how broke you are. You can't keep ruminating on how much you're struggling, because that's continuing to feed this unconscious identity. That's going to keep you in struggle. It's going to make it impossible to get ahead in life. So first we become aware of where we're allowing our mind to drift on a daily basis. we catch ourselves ruminating on negativity and we stop it. And then we consciously begin implanting positive thoughts in our mind about whatever it is we want. So in this case, it's money. And so when you're out living your life, you got to buy groceries. You got to eat sometime. Whenever you hand your money over to the cashier, you begin repeating positive thoughts. You slow down and you become grateful for this experience. Because, well, guess what? You get to eat another day. You get to survive. Doesn't matter what's going to happen tomorrow. That's a problem for tomorrow's you. But today, right now, you receive something and you have money to give. So you take a moment and you say, thank you. I love you. Thank you for this opportunity to receive. Thank you for this opportunity to give. And if you don't consciously make the effort to begin thinking differently about these experiences, with money for instance, then you probably will just revert to the default state, which is a subtle feeling of anxiety, or perhaps not so subtle. You're spending your money, oh, this is a lot. This is a lot of money. I don't know how we're going to make it. I don't know what we're going to do. Imagine how that is ruining your life. And guess what? That's being a realist. I'm spending money I don't have. Well, that's going to keep you stuck in survival. Why? Because if you're living in a desert where resources are actually lack and scarce, to be in abundance would kill you, because you would begin wasting everything. And so your unconscious, your body, its primary purpose is survival. So it will not allow you to contradict whatever it thinks. So if it thinks you're living in a reality of lack and scarcity, it will not let you contradict that. It will not allow you to live in abundance. It's just doing its job. It's just that we don't know how to deal with it. Which is the same reason why, well, the moment you start feeling better about something, about money, your unconscious identity changes and says, oh, we're living in abundance now. Now you're going to automatically begin focusing on abundance. You're going to be acting in ways that reinforce abundance. And so you will continue to receive abundance effortlessly and automatically because you got the unconscious on board. Think of the unconscious like a big elephant just walking around, or like a horse. And think about the conscious mind as the person on top of the horse or on top of the elephant. If you have not trained the elephant or the horse, it will disobey you. And you'll just be along for the ride, struggling, forcing the animal to go where you want it to go. But the moment both are aligned, you effortlessly go where you want. But you have to speak the language of the body, that is feelings. But we can't directly change our feelings. Only through our conscious thoughts or conscious actions can we influence our feelings. And so instead of doing things in the world, instead of paying attention to having and doing, instead we start shaping ourselves. We focus one-pointedly on becoming the greatest version of ourselves, holding an image of who we want to be in our mind. And over time, we just kind of step into that image. But first, we need clarity on who we want to be and where we want to go. What you want in life will determine who you have to become. And so all that is needed after this is to begin telling your unconscious that this, your new desired reality, is the reality that is happening. So if you're broke and want to live in abundance, every time you come into contact with money, every time you receive money or give money, you consciously begin repeating positive thoughts, thoughts of gratitude. And you can work yourself up into an emotional state. The stronger the emotion, the more easily you will reprogram your unconscious mind. Or let's say you want to make new friends. Every single time you have a conversation with anybody, doesn't matter if it's 3 seconds long, doesn't matter if it's 10 minutes, don't allow the negative thoughts to ruminate. But consciously begin thinking, oh, that was such a great conversation. I'm so good at this. I'm so good at communication. I'm so good at talking to people. Are you being delusional? Well, it depends if you're being real or not. You're being realistically delusional. Why? Because you understand that you are the creator of your reality. So, on the surface level, you're being delusional. But on the deeper level, you know exactly what you're doing and why. Your unconscious doesn't know anything other than the information that you feed it. So ask yourself, what kind of information are you feeding your unconscious? Because whatever you feel negative about will reinforce a negative identity. And that will produce more automatic negative thoughts. And if you react to those negative thoughts, it will continue to reinforce negative feelings and that negative unconscious identity until you're just drained. Downward spiral of death. And that is how many of us get stuck. And you see, this can all happen in the comfort of your own mind. So there's no need to be embarrassed. Hype yourself up. Work yourself into an emotional state. Yes, repeating positive affirmations in your mind all the time will certainly change your life. But how much power can you put behind those words? That power will determine how quickly your life will change. It doesn't matter what you think is real. What matters is the reality that you want to be real. Because the more you focus on your desired reality, the more you will create it. And the more you're focused on your current reality, the more you will reinforce it. Because the force of creation within you, your energy, is directed by where you focus. Again, it's not about what you think is true. It's about what you choose to focus on. I am Ray. Visit my cool store. Much peace and many blessings. And remember, just be.